Homes and Stones. This week we're switching gears and we are going to be cleaning property lines with two machines today. We have our Hitachi 160 excavator behind me, and then we have our Cat 936 loader is on the other edge of the farm, taking some other trees out. Again, we are clearing out property lines so we can add another chunk of our deer fence in order to protect our fruit trees that we're going to be planting here this fall. Let's go farming. So for this job, I've taken out just pretty much straight poplar trees. Like this little batch left is all that he has. And then we'll have to come over here with our excavator and pull out these big monsters. Those things are a pain in the butt to get out, but we're gonna wanna pull the fence down first because of how big they are and the direction that they're leaning. Sometimes I swear you just never know what you're gonna find in the woods. We bought this land a couple years ago, and we just cleaned up this tree line, and there's an old pickup truck. I don't know if it's a Chevy or GMC. So you can kind of see, well, we'll go over here so you guys can see my face. So you can kind of see how he's doing it. He drives into the trees, and he tips them over, and then pulls them back out with the rake, grabs them by the root ball. And then as he gets them all out of the tree line, he windrows them and then hits them sideways and then pushes them all over to the big pile where he's stacking all the trees up. Where we get some moisture, we'll light them on fire and burn them once we get some rain and these trees dry out. So this machine here, the Cat 936 loader with that root rake on the front, is perfect for this job because these trees just need to be popped up and out, and it's a little more efficient than our Hitachi with the bucket and thumb on it. We're gonna go over there and I'm gonna get started pulling some trees out with that. And those trees are a little bit bigger and more of a pain in the butt, and while they're really close to other people's property lines, you just have a little more control with an excavator compared to this. So we're gonna buzz over there and we're gonna start that. So what my job here today to do is to take this property line that we just had surveyed and clean up this whole corner. We got all different types of trees. We got maples, poplar, pines. I gotta get all this cleaned up so we can run our deer fence straight down this line into the corner. So we're about 40 minutes in. I got this chunk all cleaned up, right in line with the property. Now I got to start working my way back up the hill. Don't know what to do with all these people's junk. I already got one big pine tree down in this spot. Now I got to get the rest of these monsters to tip over and fall down the hill. I actually made it pretty far, but I've popped a hydraulic line, so I'm waiting for some help to come locate that, because I can't quite see where it's at, and I think it only leaks when I'm moving the machine, so I need a second pair of eyes to help me locate it. We'll do a little update here. This is where we're at. When we started, all this was pine trees and ground that needed to be scrubbed up. I got the trees taken out with the 160 at the top of the hill. Tyler came over with the 936 after he finished that plot of land, or that plot of trees he was ripping out earlier, and he carried all the stuff away down to the big pile right there. So we're making good progress. I probably would have finished today if I didn't break that or bust that hydraulic line. For those of you who don't know, a brand new cherry orchard can be absolutely just demolished and just wiped completely out by deer pressure. Deer come in and they eat the new growth. They only eat what's new. They don't like the hardened off wood. They like the fresh, softer stuff. So a cherry tree might grow, each branch might grow a foot, and deer will eat that 1 foot. So it's like you spent all the money and all the time and the hard work, and your tree didn't even grow that year. I'd like to share a personal experience that I've had with the deer fence. In 2015, we planted multiple 100 acres of cherries. 99% of it was fenced in, which was great. 10 of the acres was not fenced in, and after 1 year, almost every single tree is gone, absolutely gone. Just nothing but a stump sticking up, because the deer just kept hitting them and hitting them and hitting them, and that's the only way that we can prevent them year round is by putting up a deer fence. So that's why we're doing this type of project whenever we put in new trees. If you have had experiences with deer damaging your fruit, I would love to hear what you guys did or what your experience with it is. If you guys had any solutions, you can put those down below in the comments. That would be great. We're always looking for other alternatives. Doing the deer fence can get pretty expensive, especially when you start breaking stuff like this. So any other better ways to do it? We've tried the hot sauce. We've tried putting rotten egg mix and spraying it on the trees. We've put shiny ribbons in the trees. We've done all kinds of stuff, but deer fence, just keeping them completely out of the orchard, seems to be the best thing that works for us. What works for you guys is what I want to know. So while we're waiting for Bob to come help us locate this hydraulic leak, we can take a quick far back view of the progress that we made today. We started down here by the lake, and all of this was all heavily wooded with maples, pine trees, scrubs, bushes, rocks. We got all that cleaned up. We've made some pretty good progress here so far today. This week are the preliminary steps of really doing the deer fence. We have to get the property lines cleaned so that we can, where we started out the video with the loader, we have to move that fence again, move it in a new direction where we're going to plant. And then here today, where I was working, we are clearing out the property line for a new fence. So that broken hydraulic line is going to force me to call it a day with that project. Thanks everybody for watching this week. We'll see you guys in the next episode of Poems and Stones.